time. It's our time, my friends. Time for millions of maturepreneurs, 55 plus, who are hashtag not done by a long shot, to revolutionize how we lead, do business, and innovate our world. I'm your host, Jeanette Anderson, and welcome to my conversations with fascinating people who would rather inspire than retire. Let's talk about something that people either roll their eyes at or quietly know is true. We are energetic beings. Now, before you go, all that sounds a little out there, stay with me here, because this isn't about crystals and candles, it's about awareness. Have you ever walked into a room and felt the tension before anyone said a word? Or met someone and immediately felt energized or completely drained? That's not your imagination. That's your nervous system reading energy. In fact, research in neuroscience shows us that we are constantly picking up and responding to nonverbal emotional cues, tone, posture, microexpressions faster than conscious thought. So yes, energy is real, and we don't always pay attention to it. So here's why this matters, especially while you're in transition or taking that leap into your next level in your life or your business. Because when you're in a period of change, reinvention, transition, expansion, what the hell is next? If you're in that inquiry, energy becomes everything. Not your resume, not a plan, but your state. If you're operating from stress and fear and contraction, you're going to make smaller decisions, often ones that don't support you. You'll hesitate, second guess, stay safe. But when you learn to regulate your energy, to ground yourself, to shift your state intentionally, you create access to clearer thinking, to better ideas, to more aligned choices. So how do you actually do this? Well, you start simple. You notice what drains you. You notice what expands you. Pay attention to the people and environments and conversations that shift your state, and stop pretending that they don't matter, because they do. And in transition, you don't just need a strategy, you need stability. And that doesn't come from you controlling your circumstances. It comes from learning how to hold your own energy steady, even when everything else is moving. That's not soft or woo-woo, that's power. And that's what I'm talking about today with Denise Cambiotti, when we're talking about energy tools for making it through transitions. So join us today to learn some practical tips that you can use to make your next leap with more confidence, power, and joy. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this bodacious episode of the Maturepreneur Podcast. I'm your hostess, Jeanette Anderson, and today I have the fabulous Denise Cambiotti joining me from just outside of Vancouver, British Columbia, a fellow Canadian who is probably warmer than where I am right now. Welcome, Denise. I'm glad you're here.
It's so good to be here with you.
And so, as usual, folks, I'm going to tell you about Denise. I'm going to give you the official bio. Then we're going to find out the lewd and lascivious details behind the scenes. I keep asking for that, but no one ever gives it to me. And we're going to be talking today about being energetic and healthy and being able to serve clients for a long time, after corporate or after whatever you're moving out of, and how to take that leap as gracefully as possible when you're changing careers with a lot of energy and clearing those hidden blocks, unrecognized emotions, and limiting beliefs. So strap in, hang on. This is going to be a fast-paced, helpful half hour with Denise to support you in being able to make that transition with greater ease and grace. So Denise's mission revolves around empowering individuals to achieve better, longer lasting results with less efforts. I'm all for that. That could be about enhancing physical function or making their soulpreneur journey easier. Her services include showing individuals how to perform do-it-yourself body maintenance activities, as well as co-hosting energy healing events that identify and clear hidden blocks, preventing you from enjoying your life path and purpose. So again, welcome, Denise. I'm glad you're here. So tell us something about you that people wouldn't guess. What's something that maybe your friends don't know? You haven't told your partner,
Oh, you do want the details.
I do.
You know where I go when I want to be alone or creative?
Where do you go?
It's not a coffee shop. It's my local library.
Ah, okay.
And people don't know how much I love the vibe of getting into one of those little silent rooms at the library and doing whatever it is I want to get done that day, away from the phones and the people coming and going.
Yeah.
People coming and going in the library, that don't bother me. It's other people in my life, when they come knocking by my door or just walking by my door, it's like, oh, distractions come in.
I hear you. And it's important for entrepreneurs to find their productivity space that really works for them. For me, it is actually restaurants because, first of all, they just keep bringing me Diet Coke, which keeps me caffeinated. But also, it's the kind of white noise. I actually am more able to focus than I am if it's quiet. If it's quiet, then I get distracted by all the other things that might be going on, etc. So for you, it's the library and being out of your house and being somewhere quiet and inspiring. All those books surrounding you.
They all want to speak to me.
Yeah, I get it. That makes sense. That's an inspiring place too. In fact, you just inspired me to go spend some time. I'm currently in Okotoks, Alberta, just south of Calgary, and I want to check out the library because I want to host some events there. So I'm going to go there tomorrow to work. So that's a great idea. Thank you. All right. So let's talk about your reinvention journey. Tell me, how long have you been doing what you're doing, but what was the moment you knew you weren't done?
Okay, so in the year 2000, no, in the year 2000, I started my business, alternative, completely different. In about 1983-ish, I walked in and somebody said, "Hey, do you know how to answer phones?" And I went, "Sure I do." And I got sent on a temp job to answer a 200-line call director. It's like, that's one phone. I had that little toy when I was a little girl, baby. And there's a picture of me doing that. And so I was taken under somebody's wing who recognized that I am pretty committed, as long as I'm feeling challenged. She figured that out pretty quick. And so I rose up and she grew my skills. She trained me, and I ended up moving to Alberta and working for a national corporation there as well. I was in Toronto in a national corporation, then in Alberta in a national corporation, who all had great HR departments and saw that I loved learning. So I was in that, executive, administrative assistant kind of thing. And then I fell into my passion, which is about muscle testing. And I ended up finding my way up to executive director of a national association. So between all that, just for something fun to do, I became a project coordinator. So all the left brain stuff, got that handled. And I got introduced to this muscle testing thing. And my kids, I had a high-risk pregnancy. And when they were born, I was deciding I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom. It all shifted when I went, wow, people are telling me I have a knack for this. And I want to go deeper and wider. And so that's where I took more trainings, became an instructor of a couple of different modalities. And then somebody came to me and said, you don't have to teach your classes in your living room every weekend anymore. We can record this and make it happen. And that happened in 2017. And that's really my reinvention, because at that point, it was either, do I just kind of ease into retirement? My husband retired in 2019, or do I go for it? And I decided I can't imagine not doing this kind of work till the day I die.
Right.
So I evolved from the project world to training other people to do different techniques to support themselves in body, emotionally, and spiritually. So here I am.
And so when you decided, or you're at that tipping point of, do I retire or do I go for it? And you said, nope, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to keep doing this. I love it. What did it take for you to choose all in? What did it take for you to commit to that? Did you, because you're partner might have been saying, hey, come retire with me. Your family might have been saying, hey, slow down, whatever those messages were. What did it take for you to go all in?
Well, first of all, my husband's idea of retiring was moving to an island on the west coast of Canada and going fishing every day. And I basically said, oh, okay, that's interesting. So we're going to be really in a small town, middle of nowhere. Am I on the boat with you? And he had this look on his face, and I went, yeah, no. He's got his fantasy of being retired, being on the boat fishing all day, and I wasn't part of that. And I went, the signs on the wall, I'm going to have to find my own thing. So, but really what pushed it for me, and I tell you, if I didn't see for myself every time I work with people, every time I train somebody and the lights go on in their eyeballs and they get really excited, if I didn't know this absolutely makes a profound difference in people's lives. And it's fast. It's not difficult to learn if you want to learn it. And that's where was I can't just close the door on that. I just can't.
So you kind of came to the realization that that path was not one that you were going to be walking with your husband. How did that impact you as a wife, as a woman? Because I don't want to just step over that, because I think there's a lot of people who have that experience of, oh, we're not going in the same direction at this point in our lives. So how did you deal with that?
Well, I mean, I'm going, hey, dear, I work for myself. If you give me advance notice, I can block my calendar. We can go on a holiday. We can do whatever, right? Just give me some lead time to make sure I can leave the tablet, laptop, everything at home and go and be with you 100%, wherever you want to be. So that was, that had to be discussed, because my husband's going, you're not retiring. And I'm going, why? You're going to be out fishing on a boat all day. I got to have something to do, or I'm going to be getting myself up in the bar and getting into some trouble. And he was, okay, what you want to do sounds a little bit better than that. So that was really part of it. The other part was just, he's got his own interest, but I was really worried about his retirement date, that he was going to end up in front of the TV, and which is right outside that door. And that he'd be there, all day, a lot. And when our son left home, I moved into this bedroom because we used to have side-by-side desks. And I thought, I can't be having all these conversations and podcasts, and because it's kind of an open area, I needed my space. So we made that transition. And so people know in the house, when the door is closed, the door is closed. They might tap lightly if there's something important. If I have a sign on it that says recording in progress, they wait. And so there's accommodations for working from home. And it turned out my husband's super busy with amazing hobbies related to fishing. And he's busier, happier than I've ever seen him. So it was about us both finding the thing that lit our heart out.
Brilliant. So what is one tool or mindset shift or habit that was really essential for you to get through that transition, for you to find your own grounding and footing in your business and to make that transition successful?
Okay, so I teach energy balancing, energy harmonizing techniques. I'm going to share a few today, but one of them, if I hadn't used it, I'd probably be in jail. So
I'm starting to get a sense there's a spicier side of you, Denise. Sometimes. In the bar, in jail. We'll talk some more after this. Okay.
The one thing is I'm unpredictable, according to some people. Okay. So we were raising kids. We had twins, and there comes a certain age where they. Right. And they were always really good about, one of them would kind of nag me for something. Nang, I want this. You know how kids are. And they would take turns. And one day they tag teamed and they both came at me. And I literally was ready to blow a gasket. And it's the first time I've ever said, leave this room, where they went, ooh, okay. Because if they'd have been within throttling distance, sorry. I was super mad. I was so mad. And when they left, I felt the adrenaline in my system going, "Ee." And so I did this technique. Can I share you this technique right now? It's called emotional stress release technique. I went and stood by my sink. After I put a dent in the sink, and my husband came home from a work trip and went, "What's this?" I said, "Better the sink than your kids." I mean, I was that mad and I can't even remember what I was mad about. But you have pressure release valves on your forehead, acupressure points. And if you hold your hand really lightly across your forehead like that, how many times have you ever seen people, "Oh, I've just gotten bad news," and they put their hand there?
Yeah.
Subconscious. Now, if you touch here very, very lightly, or 2 fingers on the middle of your forehead above your eyeballs, a little bit closer. Yeah, there you go. Just touch and breathe. And so I'm imagining this whole he said, and I felt, and so I'm recalling that whole incident in my mind like it was a little movie. Mm-hmm. And I literally felt the tension, the adrenaline that was charged in my system. It just faded right away out through my toes. And I was able to take a full breath. And to this day, I can't even remember what that argument was about. And it was so huge, you would think I could remember. And technically, when you do this technique, you don't forget things. You just forget the reaction you had.
The trigger.
And literally another time they came up, and it was another one of those. And I said, "I am mad, and I am going to show you how mad I am." And I couldn't stay mad. I mean, it was the same kind of scenario, the two of them facing me. I couldn't stay mad. I would just dissolve into a fit of giggles. And I'm going, So I just, it's techniques like that I've shared. And I've seen people who have had life-threatening diagnoses. And they do that and they go, "Wow, I don't know what shifted, but I see myself walking into the sunset with holding my child's hand," which I couldn't imagine that 5 minutes ago, but I can see it now. It's just, you just cannot throw anything at this technique that it cannot help a little bit at, because it drains the stress. To a degree where you can then move forward. And I'll say that I knew that technique worked in that moment. And I literally I joke about it, but really I was that man. I kind of could have killed them for real.
So we've got one tip there. What's a couple of other tips that support people in their physical, emotional, spiritual, psychological grounding, or coming back to center, or being able to deal with stress or fear?
Perfect. So we covered the emotional. Let's look at something physical. How many of us carry tension in our upper back, our upper shoulders, our neck, right?
Rock hard.
Okay. So when I teach people to offer muscle tuning, I say, take a measurement. So I'm going to invite you in the audience now, or people that are listening. I'll just speak it out loud. I'll coach you. Just sit straight, stand straight, and take your head and turn to either side, doesn't matter, and see how far can your head turn to look over there. Can you look over your shoulder or not? Okay, so take a measurement of that. Now look the other way. Oh, and I'm not going quite as far on my left side. All right, so we've taken a measurement. Now you have acupressure points all through your ear. There's like over 300 acupressure points. And so this sounds really weird, but when you see me do it, you'll understand.
Okay.
We're going to pinch the top of your ear that's folded over, and you're going to pull and unroll it. So kind of take your thumb to go inside the outer part of your ear and pull and move all the way downward. Keep unrolling and pulling, and get all the way down to your earlobe and give that a nice rub, and then keep going on the top. Now we can do both sides at once. And the unrolling part's important. The tugging away from your head is important. What we're doing is we're activating some acupressure points. Now, to do this even better, turn your head. Let's everybody turn to the right, and you're going to only activate the right ear. So this is the ear facing behind you. Just take a breath and unroll and pull, and do that 2 or 3 times. All right. And by now your ear should be feeling nice and warm, and it's probably pink like mine.
It is.
Turn the other way and unroll your ear. And it helps if you aim to turn your head, neck as far as you can while you do this technique. And the short scientific thing that's happening here is you've activated reflexes in your neck that monitor where you are in space as you're activating acupressure points. So this is like a self-acupuncture treatment without the needles. All right, turn your head one way, see if it moves differently. Oh, it's going further for you.
Yeah, it is.
Look the other way. Do you feel less tension back there?
I feel less pain when I turn my head. It's still fairly tense, but it is much less pain when I turn.
Great. Well, then this is what you're going to do. You're going to take another 30 seconds in a little bit, and you're going to activate that ear on the side that bothers you the most. And you're going to do your best to turn your neck as far as you can, because I didn't give you that key piece of coaching right at the start. I'm kind of running through this quickly because we're on a short podcast, but I have had people come to $350 workshops. At the beginning, I teach this so that they can hear me teach. And this is a twofer. You release the tension in your neck and shoulders, but now your ears are taking signals of what you're hearing. It's filing it in the right department in your brain so that you can recall information later. So this, I think, would be very, very useful tip for anybody that is missing the signals. When they go to network meetings, they're not hearing people saying, I'm looking for somebody just like you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so it works on multiple levels. All right, what's a third tip that we can use to support ourselves?
Okay, how many of us have got a goal? Maybe more than one goal. Okay, how many of us do positive affirmations?
Yeah, I do.
I'm achieving this goal. I'm achieving this goal. I feel it. I believe it. It's going to happen. This goal is in my life. Okay, yeah. You can say affirmations till the cows come home. Some people will do tapping, which I love. With, but it's about directing where the source of your block is for it to work most efficiently. How many of us will use aromatherapy? Right? Put us in a calm state, help us with meditation. How many of us meditate? There's all these different techniques out there. Well, here's a really, really simple one. Do you know we actually have 7 senses, not just 5?
I didn't.
Okay. So you could probably name the top 3 right off the top of your head, right?
Yeah. Hearing, sight, and smell.
Or taste.
Yeah.
And touch.
Yeah.
Okay. So those are the top 5. But we also have this sense of perceiving light, which is different than seeing. So light and color. And then there's also the positive affirmation part. It's our thoughts. This is actually a way it's connected to our senses in very powerful ways. Okay, so sight, what you see, what you hear, what you feel, what you taste, what you smell, what quality of light and color and thought. So I just summarized that. People are taking notes. Now, look at your intention, allow yourself to relax and go inside and have a mini meditation moment where you're envisioning that intention, that goal, and you're seeing yourself. You've got it. What are you going to see? What are you going to hear? What are others going to be saying? What are you going to be saying to yourself? What are you going to feel? And where are you going to feel it? And are there any scents associated with this? Are there any tastes associated with this? And what is the color, the tone, the quality, the intensity of the light and the colors in your environment? And what thoughts are you having that this is coming to be? You could literally take a minute or two, really developing strong sense connections to your intention. And this will support you And this is an underpinning of workshops that we teach. One of them is called, with a collaborator I teach, it's called the Spiritual Code Breaker. No, it's not called that. Sorry, we renamed it.
That's okay.
It is the Inner Radiance Code Breaker. And we introduce people that this is a technique you can do with yourself without any extra support that will give your intention some extra oomph.
Really imbuing it with all of our senses so that it has more vibrancy, it has more aliveness for us rather than just some rote words that we might read, which makes a lot of sense. The more vividly engaged we are, the more energy is going towards whatever that is. So for some people, they may think this is all very strange and woo-woo, but it's also something very practical that you can simply try and see if you notice a difference. A lot of these techniques may be outside your frame of reference, and there's lots of things we don't understand and we don't know about our bodies, about ourselves, about the world, about the universe. So this is a great opportunity to try on some new ideas. So those are really valuable ideas and quick little interventions that we can do. Something as simple as putting your hand on your forehead or touching those 2 points to kind of bring yourself back and get grounded, and rolling your ear. My ears are still very warm, and it is looser in my neck, which is kind of interesting. I would never have put those two together. So I think those are some great tips. That's the kind of work that you do, right? So how do you serve people? What is your actual business?
Okay, well, I delight in getting people's eyeballs going, what just happened? Which is what happened to me when I had a sore neck and I lived in northern Alberta, and I walked into the chiropractor's office one day, and his assistant did this thing called muscle testing, and I didn't know what was happening. And some muscles could hold strong when she pushed gently, and others couldn't, even though she was pushing very gently. And then he did his thing, and I felt a surge of vitality, and I went, this is what I want to do when I grow up. That question that was asked me when I was a little girl, this was not really, well, actually, it was just starting to be developed in the 1960s. Mm-hmm. I never experienced it until I experienced it. And that's how I serve people. I want their eyeballs to go, what just happened? Mm-hmm. So I offer classes for individuals at any level for do-it-yourself body maintenance tips. I offer classes to people who want to become a wellness individual, wellness entrepreneur, or who are already a wellness provider, to add techniques that really make efficient, effective, and profound, immediately noticeable results that last. And then I also support with my colleague those people that are seeking a release of junk that's blocking them from their life path and purpose. So I finally just very recently went, okay, I'm an integrated entrepreneur. On my business, I'm not ashamed to say I also work a little bit and dabble in the spiritual level without asking people to dump all their big, their hairy secrets at all. Mm-hmm. I truly believe that whatever we do for the physical being, mm-hmm. and I know when we get this muscle working, mm-hmm. your stomach works better. We get this one working better, your liver works better. When you're functioning better on the physical level, you're able to step into your potential. And to me, that's spiritual. Beautiful. It's nothing to do with church.
Yeah. There's a whole field of study called psychoneuroimmunology that has many faces. It was popularized quite a bit by Louise Hay, and it's basically the mind-body-spirit connection, because we're whole human beings. And what has been considered woo-woo is really just a better understanding of those connections and how they work and how we can access them. So if you're interested in that field, by all means, reach out to Denise. And there's lots and lots of different modalities and methodologies for accessing the information about how connected we really are. So look up psychoneuroimmunology or Louise Hay's work, or connect with Denise. There's lots of different teachers and programs that support you in dealing with the wholeness of you as a human being. So And speaking of the wholeness of you as a human being, if you are in the journey of clarifying what's next for you, what is my vision? What is my purpose now? What am I going to do with that going into my next chapter? How do I profit myself and others with that purpose? Then the Clarity Compass Workshop is a great opportunity for you to clarify your vision, clarify your purpose, and your next steps. How are you going to live into that impact and create income? So please go to maturepreneur.world CC-workshop, the Clarity Compass Workshop. Go and look for that. We have ongoing courses, both live and virtual, that will really support you in an affordable way to figure out what's next for you. So after that little commercial break, let's come back, Denise, to our rapid fire round. What's something about reinvention that no one tells you?
Never too late.
Mm.
It's never too late to undecide a path if it's not for you. Choose something that makes you happier.
Love it. What did you have to unlearn as you got older, after 55 or whatever? What did you have to let go of?
That's a really difficult one because I never went to traditional university, all that, even though I've got my doctorate now. Thank goodness I wasn't imprinted by it, because I've seen some teachers, they program people with their scope of the world, which can be fabulous, but a lot of them are so down the rabbit hole. What I had to unlearn being following my mother's model of being anxious or not worthy.
Well, and that kind of answers probably the next one, which is, what is one belief that held you back the longest?
Well, surprisingly, with this latest program I'm putting out, I never thought I had what's that called, imposter syndrome, when I created Muscle Tuners. I'm known internationally. I'm effective. I teach. I know this works. That's all fine. Yeah, can I put a program together? It worked. Oh, put it online and it worked. Now I'm doing this tapping program, and it was revealed to me that relating to this program, I had huge imposter syndrome. Who am I, this little girl working in her son's bedroom, coming up with maybe a better mousetrap for this process called tapping to release emotional blocks? Who am I to do that? So, yeah, I'll leave it there.
Okay. Well, and the answer to that is probably, who am I not to? So what would you say to someone who thinks it's too late?
Imagine your life a year down the road, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. I don't know. Well, some of us are living pretty old now. We're maturing. Imagine yourself sitting on that porch swing and looking back to now, and you haven't made this decision. What will you be saying to yourself, 10, 15, 40 years in the future? Why didn't I do that?
Yeah. I've got 2 rules in life. Don't do anything you're going to regret, and don't regret anything you've done, because I can't remember more than 2 things. And so really, I think regret is one of the biggest burdens we can ever have in life. So yeah, that's great advice. Look back, go to the future, look back. What would you have regretted not doing or doing? And so what's one, you have a gift for our listeners too. So what is that gift? And then I want your final piece of advice for everyone.
Sure. Well, go to muscletuners.ca, and right top of the fold, there's a little button that says tips. And when you register, thank you for giving me your email address. I will not abuse it. There are, I think, 7 different types of tips, including a longer explanation of the ear thing and the emotional thing. There's several for shoulder issues and digestion, things like that. So just go to my website, find the tips button, and go enjoy those.
All right. So, and they can probably get in touch with you through muscletuners.ca as well, right?
That's right. There's a contact us button, top right hand corner.
Okay, awesome. And what is that final? by the way, ladies and gentlemen, you can also go to the vault and get Denise's gift, but also the gifts of all of our other guests on the podcast that we've had over the past few years. So go in and fill your boots with great, helpful resources that are really practical, that help you personally and professionally and in your business. And you can also then see what are some of the other topics you might have missed that would be valuable for you as well. Those gifts are all free and they're all in the vault. So go log in there and download as many as you would like. All right, Denise, what's one final piece of advice you'd like to leave everyone with?
You know, what's really come to me in the last week or two is something I discovered or heard about probably 20 years ago. And it's come full cycle. And I'm watching people are doing a lot of juggling right now. Isn't that right? People are juggling.
Yep.
And I'm butchering this a little bit, but imagine you're juggling balls, and some balls are made of rubber, and you drop the ball, no problem. It bounces back up and you get it and you can keep juggling. Some balls aren't bouncy, but they're not going to break. Like, just think about a squishy ball. No, I don't have one handy here, but you know, those little like stress balls or something. You drop that, it's just going to hit the floor and it's not going to bounce up, and you can decide to pick it up again or not, but it's not broken. And then there are the crystal balls, the glass ones. You drop those, they shatter. There's no putting them back together. So what is of value to you in your life? Which ball do you need to make sure you keep up in the air?
All right. That's a really great visual way to think of it and to simplify things. I really appreciate that. All right, my friends, it's time. Time for you to be the difference that only you can be. Because, as Denise said earlier, if not now, when? Have a fabulous week, everyone. See you soon. Thank you for listening. I'd love it if you left a comment and subscribed. And I encourage you to apply one aha from this interview right away so you can turn your wisdom into wealth and your contribution into positive change. Bye for now.